YouTube. You are watching the Skynet Gen Network, and today I am going to be reviewing Salem Season 2, Episode 4, entitled The Book of Secrets. So, last that we left, Mary is taking a bath. She is attacked by the Countess Marburg, who makes her presence known. And Mary is now afraid that she has been, that someone's going after her. So the episode 4 begins. Mary asks the other witch, Tituba, to see if Petrus, the vision guy, remember, if Petrus saw who attacked her. Little do they know that Petrus is long dead, I think, since episode 2. So while this is going on, John Alden is in town. He did make his presence known. He kills this Undertaker of Salem, I guess you can call him. And he kills him. He takes his this. If any of you have seen the movie The Thief Lord, that mask with the long pointy nose, yeah, he puts on this mask and poses as the Undertaker and continues to pretend that he actually is the Undertaker, taking the bodies and moving them. What else? So then Mary gives Anne this book of secrets diary. She tells her every witch must keep in order not to forget the old ways, and it's a good way of keeping track of everything. So while it does that, it also is a way for Mary to keep an eye on her, though she says she doesn't say that. She tells Anne that she's the only one who can read it because she has to write in her blood, and that's how it recognizes who is the owner of the book. But that's all. I mean, I don't know. That's all a lie. Anne doesn't know that Mary can read the diary because she can, and yeah, because Mary has her suspicions about Anne. She doesn't know who's attacking her, so she's like, maybe it's Anne. She can't control her powers. Maybe it's her. What else? Mather, we're taken to a scene later where Mather tells the doctor that the witches. Yeah, so Mather is in town, and he goes to the doctor, and he's telling the doctor that witches have started the pox by opening the malum, which Isaac did, but and that has started the grand rite. The doctor's like, what are you talking about? Like, he wasn't around when that happened, so he finds it a little bit hard to believe. So then we're taken to a scene where Alden, still in his disguise with that mask, he frees the prisoners from the cell, the same cell that was in the previous episode where that villager wanted his wife to be released from. Yeah, so that same prison, he releases everyone from there. What else? The doctor then performs an autopsy later on Corwin. Mary then accuses Hawthorne for all the havoc that's going on in Salem. She's like, "You're the new magistrate, and look what all the things that happen. You cannot maintain order in this town. What? Why are you still magistrate? You need to be no longer magistrate. That's all." She says that there was the greatest prison escape in this town that this town has ever seen. There's people dying. She's talking about Corwin. And she's telling him that she suspects that it is him who killed Corwin because, again, Corwin was the guy who was going to be his opponent for the position of magistrate. So she's like, well, he was your opponent. Next thing you know, he's dead, and you're becoming automatically magistrate. So he's like, whoa, how are you accusing me of this? So he's being put on the spot, even though, I mean, obviously, she knows that she knows that he didn't kill him, obviously. Um, so eventually, Mary is talking with the doctor. Um, she Earlier, Tituba and Mary made a decision that they need to find who's attacking her, and one way they can do it is by cutting off the finger of Corwin, and he will show them who the attacker is. Um, it will show them which way to go to find him. Like I said in the previous review, they don't know that there's multiple people going after them, so they're assuming that this will help them find this one person who is attacking them. Even though it's not one, it's 3 people that are attacking her. Um, uh, John Alden's the one who attacked Corwin, so that will technically would point to John Alden, where he's hiding. So, while Mary's seducing the doctor, who kind of has a thing for her, and she might have a thing for him, I don't know, Tituba is over there planning to cut off Corwin's corpse finger off. They eventually get it done. The plan is to use the magic and have it point to the right direction of the assailant who killed Corwin. And the finger ends up pointing to Knocker's Hole. So Mary gathers the villagers. She heads to Knocker's Hole, where Alden is currently hiding. And Alden looks out and he's like, ah, crap, you've got to be kidding me. This is not what I need right now. And so Alden puts on this small animal skin bag that was given to him by the Native Americans. And this thing makes him apparently invisible. But it's not all that it seems. While it makes him invisible, it seems to hurt Alden. It's kind of like, I guess, Lord of the Rings. If you put on the ring, it's not like, oh, I'm invisible. Yeah, there's a price to pay to being invisible. I guess in Harry Potter, that's the only place where being invisible, when you put the invisibility cloak on, does not end up hurting you in any sense. But he puts on this leather bag, or this little leather bag around his neck, and slowly you see these veins start spreading across his body, like root-like veins, and it looks like it's wrapping around his body from the inside, and you can see it showing from within his skin. It's really weird. It's kind of slowly hurting him in the process, and he's Mary's looking around. She kind of feels some kind of presence, but she can't make it out. Eventually ends up leaving. Alden takes off, and he's finally takes a sign of relief, well, A, they're gone, they didn't find him. He can continue his mission to try and kill all these witches, and B, he can finally breathe. I mean, he was struggling to breathe when he was having that thing on him. So when Mary leaves the Knocker's Hole, she notices that there's a well outside, and she's like, "Wait a minute! I was attacked by water. Maybe this is what what is the place I need to go. I need to check this well. The person who attacked me came by water." So she's like, "All right, I'm gonna make Anne Hale go down this thing." She's not going down there. Because she thinks that she will find the answer who attacked her down that well. Since she has her suspicions that it's maybe Anne, why not send her down here? So she forces Anne to go down there, even though Anne does not want to go down there, but she's like, you better go down there or I'm going to push you down there. And, Anne is afraid of Mary, even though I think Anne might be more powerful than Mary. She just cannot control her powers, and she's kind of new at this thing. But she forces her to go down there and obtain a sample of water from the well, so Mary can charm the water. Um, so once, so she goes down there, she gets the sample. Um, she kind of like sees these visions while she's there underwater. Eventually, she ends up getting the water sample, coming back, and when she's home, Anne is writing in her Book of Secrets diary about confronting her fear, going down the well. Um, she also writes about being scared, but not knowing who to be more afraid of, Mary or the Countess Marburg. Because she met Countess Marburg a couple of episode 2. You know, so meanwhile, the doctor stops by Mary's. So again, remember, Mary can see everything she's writing, so she sees this, and she's like, "Who is this Countess Marburg?" So she's like learning, like, who is this Countess Marburg? How does Anne know her? So her suspicions get even more deeper. What's going on here? Maybe she's working with someone. Um, but anyway, the doctor stops by Mary's house, exchanges some words. Eventually, he tries to seduce her again. She's like, you know what? What the hell? Screw it. I'll let this guy do it. You know? She's tired of him coming on to her. So he has his way with her. We're then taking the scene where Mather is drinking, as usual, and Alden appears. Mather is surprised, and he says, "But you're dead," you know? And we don't see Alden's face, and he ends up just... But we know it's Alden, obviously, because he says, who else is who else is it gonna be? I mean, he said, you're supposed to be dead. I mean, obviously it's Alden. And, so Alden hits him, knocks him out, and, that is how this episode ends. So, pretty good episode. You know, I think, episode 3, a lot more things were happening. I liked episode 3 better. This was still a good episode, but not as good as the third episode. But it's still a very decent episode, and it's really making the connections that were from connecting with episode 3. We're starting to really piece everything together slowly with these different scenes that are happening, and it's going to be interesting to see when Mary finds out that there's more. I'm waiting for Mary to find out that there's more than one enemy, and that's what I'm waiting for. So, otherwise, this was a pretty decent episode. I recommend those of you who are behind to catch up and watch this series. It's very unusual and different show. Those of you who like fantasy type TV shows, this is definitely a show for you to watch. It's similar to Legend of the Seeker, kind of. Not really, but whatever. It's a fantasy series. Game of Thrones, The Legend of Seeker. I know I like those shows, and when I saw this, obviously I'm watching it, so I'm liking it. It's a show you need to give a chance. Give it a few episodes, see if you like this show. Like I said in previous videos, first episode is based on some true events. These characters did exist. I'm not saying magic existed, but these characters did exist in real life, and people did think that witches existed back then. But season 2 is definitely stepping away from that, and they're making a lot of stuff up, and it's making the show more intense, but it's hurting the show, I think, because you lose that believability. Even though season 1, you might say, well, how can you believe that there's witches? But again, people believe that there were witches in real life how many years ago. Season 2, I mean, it's getting pretty ridiculous, but it's more intense. So You're just gonna have to check it out yourself and see what you guys think. I think it's pretty good. I'm kind of I like it, but at the same time I don't like it. Either way, I keep watching the show. Usually shows that I try to watch and I'm forcing myself to watch, I end up forgetting to watch them, and I lose, and I never see them. Like shows like on what's it called? 12 Monkeys. That was a show I was watching on Sci-Fi Network. It looked good. I thought I was gonna watch it, and eventually I just stopped watching. I just forgot about the show, which just wasn't good enough. This show, I don't forget to watch it every week. I anticipate on watching it every week, which kind of tells me that it's pretty good if I'm watching it. If I didn't like it, I would have forgotten about it and not kept up. Even though I have not kept up on the reviews, so sorry about that. Um, uh, but otherwise, yeah, that's it. That is my review of this episode. It was a pretty decent episode. Um, uh, Thanks for watching. Like, comment, subscribe below, and as always, I will see you next time for next week's episode. Season 5. Season 5. What am I talking about? Season 2, Episode 5. This show is not gonna last 5 seasons. No way. No way. So yeah, thanks for watching, and I will see you next time, guys.